Hello. How do I fix that glare? That's just gonna happen. I have glasses now. I could take them off. Oh, I can't see anything. I don't mind being blind. Alright. Hello. This is our third vlog, which honestly it should be the fourth one, but I've been a little late. I've been continuously working on myself, which is really good. I'm so sorry the last video was 40 minutes. That won't be the case this time. I hated uploading that. I was like, 40 minutes, you weren't really talking about anything. But anyway, we're gonna get into a few things. So I recently storyboarded my mini series with my friend Caleb, who I've mentioned. There's not much here. There's little can you see that? Little scribbles of what's in my head. And me and him, we met up and we talked about the scripts, and I told him what I was wanting to do with it, the inspiration behind it, my whole reason for writing it, and how like it's going to be basically like these episodes are going to be like, you know, kind of like, I don't want to say one-offs, but something just to put on the tube and TikTok. I'm very excited to share it with you guys. When are we filming it? I don't know. Hopefully in April after my birthday. I say after my birthday. My birthday is April 13th. I'm trying to go to Coachella. Do I have a ticket? No. Do I have money for a ticket? No. I'm gonna get there somehow. Somehow. My mother's performing. I gotta see her perform. Let's get into the creative act of being. We're still reading this. This is really the reason for the whole vlog series. I'm kind of documenting myself reading the book and using it with my art. It's not a step-by-step book, which is good. But it is kind of also hard to kind of keep yourself accountable reading it, because again, it's kind of giving you guide points, giving you not guide points. It's guiding you through the journey of being a creative person. Like, I feel the stuff in here is like lifelong things you're going to like use and less instructional, if that makes sense. Let me see if there's anything recently. I can't really remember what page I last quoted. But there are some stuff in here. Oh, so he had said something in here about, the section was called Make It Up. And within the chapter, he said, we're not playing to win, we're playing to play. And ultimately, playing is fun. Perfectionism gets in the way of fun. Which is something I need to personally really get back to. I think about when I was back in Wilmington, I was very playful with my creative things. I didn't care, I didn't want to, it was all for me. And now being in LA, hoping whatever I'm doing can turn into a career. You think about it being perfect. And then he had a section about collaboration, which I was really interested in, because I am now bringing other people into my work, and kind of letting someone else put in their thought and input into it, which is something I don't like to do. But one of my friends who I'm collaborating with, I feel like we will match up work-wise. I think it's gonna work out great. So I just have a good feeling about that. So I wasn't hesitant being oh, I'm doing this thing, and when I brought it up to him, I wasn't even I was oh yeah, let me send it to you, which is yeah. The more we pay attention, the more we begin to realize that all the work we ever do is collaboration. And he goes into that. I guess I could read this section. The work itself also wears different hats. You may make a piece and feel you know exactly what it is. Then someone else may experience it and sense they know what it is. And yet, what you see and what you may be, and what they may see, be completely different. What's of particular interest about this is that neither one is right and both are right. which I was like, love that. And it's true. It's kind of like, you ever see a painting and like, oh, like I personally always like to know what the artist intended with their work or whatever. But I do try to have a good grasp on what I think it is before I get into that. Just so I can have my own organic thought, and then I want to know what they were going with. But I don't think there's anything wrong with like taking it as how you feel it too. But I do think it's kind of toxic to be like, no, it's this, and it's like, well, you don't know that for real. Oh, this was deep. He goes, what's considered art is simply an agreement, and none of it is true. I was like, okay. What is true is that you are never alone when you're making art. You are the constant dialogue with what is and what was. And the closer you tune in to that discussion, Amtrak, and the closer you tune in to that discussion, the better you can service the work before you. I was like, I love that. I just felt like that was so beautiful, being like art is a discussion. It's talking about, I guess, rules, like how the rule and guiding practice of creativity, it may exist in the artist and the genre or the culture of rules by the nature and limitations, basically like how you don't have to play by the rules and how rules can hold you back. And within him talking about all that throughout the chapter, he goes, average is nothing to aspire to. In the book right there. I read that, I was like, yes! Yes, 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 yes. I just really felt that. I was like, yeah, I don't want to be like average. I want to be like, above if I can. Timothy Chalamet won I think I talked about in my last video, he won a Golden Globe, an Emmy. He won an award, and he said he was aspiring for greatness and everyone was on his ass about it. Anyway, I'm getting new headshots on Monday. Very excited about it. I was kind of nervous about it, but I'm really trying to get excited about it because it's like I'm paying for them. I better be excited. I'm working with the photographer to figure out what we want. Oh, do you like the way my arms look, by the way? I worked out like 2 days ago and they are so sore. They look good though. Look, oh my god, does this one look smaller than this one? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I had a phone consultation with the photographer and it was kind of awkward at first because he was like, so headshots, and I'm like, yeah, like that's, yeah. And I was kind of hoping he would like lead the conversation, and he was like, so what are you thinking? And I was like, well, we're gonna do 3 looks. I'm always personally worried about theatrical more than commercial. Do I want to get cast in a commercial, a nationwide commercial, and get thousands of dollars for it? Of course. But I am aspiring to be in like movies and TV shows and like dramas and shit. So I always worry about like the theatricals. So I'm working on, I want to get 2 great theatricals. I told him the vibe was, how did I say it? I kind of like danced around and he asked if I had any characters, and I was like, no, I don't have any characters per se. I have like kind of vibes. I personally don't like to aspire to look like a character. Like I don't want to look like just a doctor in my headshot because I feel like that's a limitation. But I think if I can give a cool wider range of something in a photo, I feel like if you look at a photo and you're like, ooh, he could be a villain, he could be a lawyer, he could be, an undercover cop, he could be a drug addict, he could be a rich like asshole. Like that's what I want the headshot to give. I don't want it to be like, oh, high schooler on Disney. Like I don't want it to be just that. If it gave that and something else, cool. So I told him, we were on the phone, and then I was like, I was trying to be like professional, and then I realized I was like, you're talking to a photographer who you've met twice. And I was like, let's just cut the BS. And I go, I want to give, I remember saying to him verbatim, I was like, I want to give like, ooh, he travels to Europe and he like goes to Formula One races in Italy, but like also he reads poetry. Like that's what I wanted to give, and I said I wanted my headshots to have like a editorial feel. Like I'm thinking for the pose, I think I'm gonna do some sitting down. I can only do something like but not looking away, but like no glasses. So I'd be like, you know what I mean? Something of that sort. I want it to feel really like elevated and kind of like moody. Yeah. And I made a mood board of, I should show you the mood board. So let me show you the inspiration, all right? See what I'm talking about? Let me see if you can focus on it. See? This is the vibe I'm going with. And like this one right here, I def want to like almost recreate in a way. But that's what I want to give. I feel like these are all, like everything's like left for interpretation. Some of these, you know, give good guys, some give bad. Like nothing's like, you're not pigeonholed in these photos. So I sent that to him, and I sent him some options for clothes I have, which at first I was kind of freaking out. I was like, I don't really have anything. People are really worried about what you wear. There's so many like unwritten rules in acting that I hate. What you should wear in your headshot, like this, that, blah, 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 blah. Like, should you do it outside? Should you do it inside? Be happy you're looking at my headshot. And let's not, you know, don't wear anything too loud. But you want to wear something where you know it is, because you're going to be looking at hundreds of thousands of photos. I was thinking about taking a photo. I was thinking about I put this shirt on. I think this would be photographed cool. I thought this would be cool, I don't know, I think this would be cool, I don't know. But like graphic tees, like how taboo is that, you know? So anyway, we're gonna see. It's Friday, I have 2 more days. We're getting them done in the morning of Monday at 11 a.m. And in the morning I'm kind of puffy. You know, I'm like rolling around in the sheets, like horizontal all night. And I'm like puffy from the you know? So I think when I wake up early that morning and maybe like work out. I don't think I'm gonna work out. I think I'm gonna wake up and take a cold shower and depuff my body. Very excited about it though. It's gonna be very, very cool. I haven't gotten new headshots since 2021. 4 years. My agent is working around the clock. Like anyway. I had a very cute moment with a customer yesterday at work. I'm a bartender at my job, and I was covering for one of the main bartenders, and I was bartending with this lady, and it was so funny because I love to talk to people, and she comes to the bar. She has a Sephora bag, and I can see that it's candy in it. She had like brought candy in, and I go, "Oh, did we get any good candy?" She goes, "Oh yeah, you wanna?" She goes, "Yeah, you want an Airhead?" I go, "Yes." Do not take candy from strangers. I take it anyway. It was wrapped, and then we were talking for a while, for like 30 minutes or so. I mean, honestly, like an hour. And we were talking. She was asking me what I did and everything. I was like, "I'm an actor," blah blah blah. And we got into that, and she was like, "Yeah, just keep going, blah, blah, blah." And we were talking about Jordan Peele. I was saying, I love Jordan Peele so much. I would really love to work with him, and I was saying how I had a script for a show that would love for him to put his little hands on, because I think he could really flesh it out. And she goes, "Well, maybe maybe you could do it. You never know, She goes, "There was no Jordan Peele, and now there is, and you know, you could be the first you." And it was just such a like refreshing, like nice, refreshing thing for her to say. And she was like, no, really, like, you know, like, and then we started talking about Doechii, which is crazy because she was like, I love Doechii. I was like, yeah, I've been following Doechii for a bit, but like with her resurgence of her like career recently, resurgence, wrong word, with her like having this like moment in her career, her old vlog videos came out and she was kind of documenting her process, and it's what inspired me to do this. And she was like, see, she was like, exactly. She was like, you know, you don't know who you're gonna inspire by doing it. Like, people might see you do it and it might inspire other people. And it's funny because art is a trickle effect. Like, sometimes I sit down and I think about like who inspires me, what inspired me, why I want to do this, and like I can trace it back pretty far. It's pretty crazy. I love Jordan Peele specifically so much because, and I even talked to her about this. We were saying how much we loved Key and Peele. I was saying I love Key and Peele. I remember when I first heard Jordan Peele was coming out with a movie that he had written and everything. And God, I hope Jordan Peele never hears this. But my first thought was like, I remember them saying it was a horror film. I remember thinking like, girl, okay. I was like, a horror film. I was like, Jordan Peele from Key and Peele, like, oh, okay. And then and then that being said, I also remember where I was when the trailer for Get Out dropped. I was in Wilmington, North Carolina, working at Starbucks on South College Road. I was on my 10, wasn't even on a full break, and I was on Twitter and they said it just dropped. I watched it with my apron and hat still on. Broad daylight, it was in the middle of the day. I watched it, it terrified me. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy. I remember who I saw Get Out with. I saw my friend Josh and Austin. 2 white men. I left the theater terrified, looking at both of them like, get away from me, swearing everything. And after that movie, I was so inspired by that movie. I was like, oh my God, like, I felt connected to Jordan Peele. I felt like we were both weird, 2 weird black boys. And I've been following him in his career since. And he's a genius. And I love everything he does. And yeah. But it was really refreshing to have that talk with her. And it really like, it was just nice. Like, when you have someone who like you don't know, like, give you this pep talk. And it's not just like, follow your dreams, you can do it. It's like, they're really like getting to know you and be like, you could do it. Like, honestly, you could. You really could. It feels like the universe, like, sent that person to you in a time of need. Because I feel like right after the last vlog I posted, I feel like I was working on, I'd watched the movie The Secret. And that really lit like a fire under me. And I was waking up 3 days after watching the movie, like, such gratitude, such positivity, like, everything was amazing. And I don't know what happened. It kind of went away. And I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be attracting what I want. And I don't know what happened. I just like lost it. But I kept thinking back into my head how those first 3 days after watching that movie, it was like I had a different feeling, you know? And then so her coming in felt like the universe being like, remember what you said you were gonna do 2-3 weeks ago. After I post this, after I finish filming this, whatever, I'm gonna rewatch The Secret. I need to rewatch it. When I first watched it, I was filled with such emotion about like attracting what I want, because I've done it before. I've lived my life attracting things I want. Literally, like, it's hard to explain without it sounding like trivial. I've done that since a kid. When there's things I wanted really badly, I've attracted it. They've like boomeranged back to me. I've done it all the time, and it's funny. It feels like little tiny things, and now I'm trying to do this thing where it's like, now I'm trying to attract a whole lifestyle. Like, there's a difference between attracting those really cool pair of shoes I really want that are out of stock, but I stumble into a boutique and they have a fresh new pair, you know? And attracting a whole career and lifestyle. Like, it's really challenging, and it's something I'm trying to hone in and focus in on. It's not that I'm necessarily getting discouraged, like I don't believe I can't get it or that I don't deserve it. Life, my day job, the trivial things get in the way, and it is difficult to keep a positive gratitude mindset all the time and leading with positivity all the time. But one thing that was helping was whenever I had any friend or anybody, any coworker would say something that kind of negative, and I didn't want to affect me. It was selfish to do. I didn't want it to affect me. So someone would be like, "Oh, I just don't want to be here today." I'd be like, "Hey, we're gonna have a great day. Today's gonna be a great day. You're gonna have a great day." And I would like force it on them to keep me accountable, which selfish, but I feel like it worked. But it is becoming difficult, but I'm trying. I'm doing it. I don't want to say I'm trying. I am doing it. But I'm you know. But it is something I'm doing, and I know I can do it. I know I can do it. Yeah. But I'm very glad to have this, you know, vlog to keep me accountable. But I was trying to do it even today. I was in, this sounds so, I'm just gonna say, I went down to home, my roommate, she was going to work. I got a ride with her down there to run some errands. And I decided out of nowhere, I was like, I'm gonna go through, I think because I had my glasses on, I decided to do it. I was like, I'm gonna go through the jewelry district. So I was going through some stores. Now, if you've ever been to the jewelry district in LA, people are aggressive. No hi, how are you? First thing it is, what are you looking for? Pretty aggressively. I don't like aggressiveness when I'm shopping. If you give me attitude, I'm not buying anything from you, whether I have the money then or later. So I'm going to the shops. I'm literally not looking for anything. I'm not buying anything right then and there. Everyone's giving me attitude. I hate it, right? There's this one boutique, this one store. They're like not really in the plaza of all the other jewelry stores. They're like by themselves. And I usually don't go in there because you have to buzz to get in. And it seems a little like high end. And I was like, I don't think I want to go in there. But I walked past this beautiful diamond necklace. And I go, ooh, I wonder how much that necklace is. And I have the audacity, because I'm an Aries. Happy Aries season, by the way. Started today. So I was just thinking, I was like, I'm gonna go in. I just want to know how much it is. So I go in. They buzz me in. I'm the only person there. It's like 4 ladies. I'm like, hi, Reed. They're very nice. And I go, I just wanted to know how much that necklace in the window was. And I was like, they're like, oh, which one? And then I'm looking in the reflection. And I'm like, oh, that one right there. And they pull it out. They're like, I can take you over here. And I start getting nervous because she has the jewelry, right? And I am a black man, if you didn't know. And I do everything I can to de-escalate a situation before it even gets to anywhere. So I'm like, I gotta make sure I don't like give off like something's gonna happen. I don't want to move too quickly into my jacket, whatever. It's a very beautiful necklace. It was like a diamond tennis necklace, and it was like gradient, so it was like small and went to a big diamond right here, and then yeah. And she's like, oh yeah, I love men in tennis bracelets, blah, 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 blah. So I'm being pretty chill. She's being so super nice. And she's just showing me the jewelry, and we're talking about it. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. She goes, oh, do you want to try it on? And I go, yeah, sure. And she goes, do you want me to put it on? I was like, can you put it on? I have huge man hands, which is true as like the clouds. So we go to the mirror, and she puts it on me. And it's so beautiful. It's like, you see it and you're like, beautiful, right? You put it on, I was like, oh my God. I feel like a princess. And I go like, wow. And I'm staring in the mirror at this necklace. It's beautiful. And it looks so good on me. And it feels like right on me. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it just felt right. Like, it looked like it already belonged to me. Like with my other necklaces, it is fit perfectly, and it just looked, everything looked on purpose. And I was like staring at it, and it just felt like I felt very comfortable in the necklace. Usually when I try on a piece of jewelry, I'm a little nervous. I don't want to like, I'm like, man, you're gonna drop it. That's crazy. Like, you know, but this was like the first time in maybe a really long time. This is the first time in a very long time I put on a piece of jewelry in a store, and I wasn't like, okay, I gotta take it off. Like, okay, let's take it off. Like, it was like on, and I was looking at it for a while. I can't describe the feeling I had when I had the necklace on. I had it on, and I was staring at it, and it felt right. It felt like it felt like in that moment I was gonna go, yeah, I'll take it. Like, here's my card, and walk out with it. It felt like it was already mine, and it like did something to me. I kept it on for a minute, and I asked her to take. I was like, "Can you take a picture of this necklace?" She goes, "Yeah, sure." She took a picture of it with it on. I just kept saying like how beautiful it was, and other girls were like, "Yeah, it's stunning. Like, we love it." And they were like, and I was like in a daze, and I've seen very expensive jewelry. One time I was in Tiffany's in New York, and I see a ring. It was like $50,000, or was it $500,000? I think it was $50,000. Like, it was a very expensive ring, and she just let me hold it, and I was like, well, that's crazy. And I felt weird holding the ring, but this necklace was nowhere near $50,000, but still pretty expensive. I felt like very comfortable in the necklace, and it like triggered something in my head. I don't know if that makes sense. Took it off for me, and I took a picture of it like by itself, and I was like, yeah, it's stunning, blah blah blah. I took a card, and I was like, you guys have a great day, and I left. I don't know, there was something about like that store which was like kind of which was standalone in its own little hub, and these other stores which are booths that all shared by each other, and they're kind of like in competition with each other. The vibe was obviously different, and the experience was so different, and yeah, and I've walked past that store many of times, and the last time I was in there was years ago, looking at rings, and so the fact that I stopped and saw this necklace and tried it on, it was like, I don't know, I was like, that necklace is going to be mine. And even when she told me the price, I wasn't shocked at it. I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, that sounds about right. And I was like, yeah. And usually when I hear the price for a piece of jewelry, I'm always like, I could find a jeweler to make it cheaper. I can da. I didn't do that with this. I was like, I heard the price. I was like, okay. Not that I had the money to buy it, but there was no like recoil. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I tried it on, and I was like, yeah, okay. And I think that goes back into like the manifestation and the attraction, you know. And I don't know how to make it make sense. And then I love jewelry. I love shiny things. And there's many things I want, but when it came to the necklace, I was in a store, and I was like, I think this is the rest of the story I'm trying to get to. I thought about the necklace, and I thought, it is expensive. It's nothing like impossible to get. And I remember thinking like, you know, having the thought in my head, like I was having a conversation with myself, and I thought, you know, for me to feel comfortable with that purchase, I'm gonna have to book a series regular role on a show. I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because if I get a series regular show, yeah, like per episode, that would make sense. So like I have to get on that. It wasn't like, oh god, I gotta get on a TV show, like I want that necklace so bad. It was, oh yeah, that necklace is cute, but to be for it to be. It was like a financial plan. I was like, oh, okay, so for me to get that, you know, we gotta be smart about money this year, so I'm gonna have to get on like a series regular role to justify it. What? It was so weird. As if like I'm already some big actor, and I just basically gotta tell someone I want to be on TV, and they'll put me on TV. That's the conversation I was having with myself in the Rouse when I was like getting some stuff, because I was thinking about this necklace. I kept looking at the picture, and I keep looking at it now, and I was like, it just looks so good to me. I was like, I just need it. I want it. I want that for myself. I want that. And then I'm thinking into the headshots, like it's a trickle effect. It's like, I want the necklace. Okay, how do I get the necklace? How do I want to get the necklace? Series regular on TV. Okay, we can do that. Oh, well, obviously, I'm going to be able to get on that TV show because I'm going to get an audition for it. And how do I get the audition? Oh, I'm getting headshots. I'm getting new headshots Monday. And these are going to be headshots like I've never had before, which is true. They're going to be like another level. And they're definitely going to put me in a different like light. Like I'm going to be seen differently for sure. Compared to my first headshots. And I was like, yeah. Once I get those new headshots, after a few auditions, I'm gonna book a series regular role. And then after like a few filming, a few checks, I'll get the necklace. Yeah. That's how it was. Like, I'm thinking back now to it, I'm like freaking out thinking about like, that's how my train of thought was like in the store. And then I got distracted because I was like, oh, what am I doing for dinner? And then I thought about something else. And now I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm just like, wow. And I've seen many of things, I've wanted, many of things, but that necklace like is really, I remember staring at it in the mirror and it just looked so, it's like when you try on like a shirt or a pair of shoes and you just think they look so good on me. Like thank God I found this pair of shoes. Thank God I found this dress. Thank God I found this suit. Or when you're going thrifting and you see something, you're like, oh, I like that. I don't think it'll fit me though, but I really like it. You try it and it fits you perfectly, and you just think, oh, good thing I found. You know, it was like that. It just felt like I felt so comfortable in the piece of jewelry too. I think that's the main part I'm trying to make. Like, I put it on and I was like, I had my leather jacket on, had all my chains on. It was like just chilling. I was like, usually when I try on something, I'm like itching to get it off. Because I'm scared they think I'm gonna like run out the store with it. I don't know. But that was just something that happened to me earlier today. And it was something I just kind of like put in the universe. And it's not really most a materialistic thing. It's like I said, an attraction thing. Yeah. Very interesting. Anyway, that being said, hopefully by the next vlog I'll have some more news about my little mini series coming into production soon. I would tell you the name of it. I'm still working on it. I don't like the name I gave it. But we'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.